and welcome to another episode of Kill James Bond. I am November Kelly. I am joined, as always, by my friends Abigail Thorne and Devon.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. How are we doing?
Buongiorno. We were trying to cook up an Italian cold open for this, and then we realized that none of us speak Italian.
No, not even a little bit.
That's never been a problem for these cold opens before.
That's true, but I think the thing is, it's very important for us to convey a sense of like verisimilitude and social context, because what you're seeing isn't just regular Kill James Bond. What you're seeing is Italian neo-realist Kill James Bond.
Oh shit!
Because I've hijacked the podcast a bit. I'm sorry for all the downer films.
It's your podcast. You can do that. You're the showrunner. Like
it's true, but
I have the controls.
Me as a pilot, like I've hijacked this plane and we'll be flying it safely to its destination. No, the destination on this one is the 1948 film Bicycle Thieves, Ladri di Biciclette, which is a turn for robbery season, but it's one I've had in mind for a long time.
New oldest film we've ever done.
Absolutely.
It's true. I wanted to do a film about how maybe robbery isn't always cool. You think about this.
All sexy.
I wanted us to do this film because it's a film about, partially about how robbery sucks, and also about where it comes from, because neorealism as a sort of cinematic movement is meant to be something ethnographic, right? It's a portrait of a society. It's meant to be as kind of documentarian as possible.
So it's like castration movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Girl who just recently watched castration movie, getting a lot of castration movie vibes from this.
It's a film about immediately post-war Italy through a very simple story. The critic Andre Bazin, who wrote a lot about Italian neorealist cinema, said that the plot of this film could just as easily have not happened. Right? It's not news.
Yeah.
And I think you always have this temptation when you're making a film, even if you have it in your heart that you're going to do a sort of like slice of life thing that's like realistic, to have a lot of coincidences and a lot of big, dramatic, rare events. Whereas what happens in this is all really depressingly plausible and banal. Right?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, there is some crime in this, but listeners, there's no like putting the crew together montage. There's no like fast forward, like this is how we're going to steal the bicycle. Like, bam, 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 bam. Then none of that fucking shit happens at all. It's just like poverty. It's a film about poverty.
About two crimes. And also, by reputation, I should say, by way of hyping this up, this is, to a lot of people, one of the greatest films of all time. So it would be really funny if we hated it. So if we can gin that bit up over the next hour, that would be.
I really liked it. So
I'm afraid I also liked it. Yeah. But it's a film about three crimes because, society.
That's true. Society.
Yeah.
Fuck. We begin with a shot of society.
Yeah. Damn. That's where I live.
It's true. That's where I keep all my stuff. We begin in Rome in 1948, which has been sort of bombed to pieces. We're in this sort of housing estate in northern Rome, which is sort of like large swaths of it, a completely open space because it's just been sort of bombed apart. And we begin with a crowd of workers, or maybe we should say would-be workers.
Would-be workers.
Yeah, they want to work as would-bees. They're trying to get jobs as would-bees. These
How much work would a would-be
could? Yeah, these would-bees are flying. No, they're not. This is a very serious and sad film.
Like Solitary Bee.
It's fine. It's a comedy podcast. The point of this is...
These human men, Barry B. Benson, not in this movie, these human men who may be wearing black and yellow, we don't know because the film is in black and white. Yeah. They go to an employment office?
Yes, it's a union office which is giving out jobs because Italy in 1948 is flat broke, right? And there's millions of people unemployed because the Marshall Plan hasn't happened yet. American money hasn't sort of come into Europe. And so if you were on the losing side, or the winning side for that matter, of the Second World War in Europe, your society...
Both of which Italy was on.
Yeah, I'm playing both sides. Smart. Your society was in ruins, and so none of these guys have work. And the employment office has sort of like X number of jobs to give out.
Yeah,
and
he's standing there with a sheet of paper, and he's saying, "I don't have jobs for you guys. Don't have jobs. And they said, can we be podcasters? And they're like, no, we only have real jobs. And it's like, we have one opening for a leftist YouTuber. And these starving poor people are just like, no, come on, we're not that desperate.
Yeah, no.
Got some fucking pride. Like, come on.
There's real like bureaucracy here in that like there's jobs that anyone could do, arguably, that are being dispensed, not really for any reason that we can see by this guy.
Yeah.
And one guy's number comes up.
Yeah, he's specifically talking about like the job is putting up posters that he ends up giving to a main character. And he goes, I need lathe operators, not bricklayers. And this is for a job putting posters up. Hard to imagine why he wouldn't be able to use a bricklayer for that. But
we meet our hero, Antonio Ricci, who is not a professional actor, first of all. It's one of the sort of things of Italian neorealism was to use as few of those as possible. And so this guy, Lamberto Maggiorani, they just picked him off like a factory line where he worked. And they went, yeah, this guy looks like a worker, which he does. He looks kind of like Italian Frank Capra. He's an everyman, right? Italian Jimmy Stewart, rather.
I know a lot of people in Italy probably did look like this in the 40s, but he looks malnourished. This man like needs a meal. Very thin
noticeably
in
thin.
the way that like our grandparents were, you know, that kind of like deep malnourishment. But anyway, he's not in the crowd.
No.
He's actually across the road sitting under a tree.
Yeah, he has to be
not even
found
trying.
to be sort of given this job. At which the sort of like mob of sort of frustrated workers are like, you know, why does he get the job and I don't? And the job is, as we say, putting up posters. There's one requirement for it, which is you have to own a bicycle. When they ask him, do you own a bicycle? He's like,
he goes like, kinda. I don't have it now, but I can have it pretty quickly.
I am a temporarily embarrassed bicycle owner.
Yeah, and they're like, all right, no bike, no job. And everyone else in the crowd is like, I have a bike, I have a bike, and so is my wife. Like, you know. And Antonio's like, oh, bicycle. Oh, I've I've
got that.
Loads of two of them actually, and I know how to ride it.
Notice that he says, I won't wait around for another 2 years for a job. So he has been waiting unemployed for 2 years.
He's like Googling bicycle on his phone. Just like, the fuck, how to?
He goes to see his wife.
Using the secret.
Obviously, incredibly stressed and sort of like doing the kind of mental calculations about this. And she's carrying like water from the well. And she has these two really big heavy buckets, and he's like pacing ahead of her because he's still thinking about it. And then he catches himself and like helps her down this hill she's walking down. That she was struggling down, which is a really nice little humanizing detail in a film absolutely full of them.
Yeah. He curses his luck because he's like, you know, finally I get a job. And it's a job that I can't take. And because we pawned my bike for food.
Yeah, his wife is like, you shouldn't have pawned the bike. And he's like, what else would we have eaten? You know, like this is very clearly they have absolutely nothing.
Yeah, they're desperate, and so they get home, and he sits on the bed, and he's like, you know, chewing his lips and wringing his hands. They're really desperate, and the movie just like lets us sit in that for a good, you know, I'd say 10-15 seconds. So just like shit, these guys are really up against the wall.
Well, it's that neo-realism thing. They take the time to just show where this guy is living in a way that you know that this was a realistic portrayal of how people were living. So he just give you a second to look at this like miserable, like he's got nothing. There's nothing on the walls. There's like 2 pictures maybe.
Yeah, and it's his wife who sort of is the one to take the initiative here, and she's like, all right, fine, you can sleep without bed sheets, right? And she strips the bed and takes all of the like bedclothes, and they go together to the pawnbrokers.
There's a detail that I noticed when they're at the pawnbrokers is that there's a queue. There's a really big queue of people, and as they're kind of pawning the bed sheets, Maria, his wife, has to like big them up. She's like, oh yeah, they're really nice sheets, and you know, we've only used a couple of them. And the guy's like, oh, these are fucking used bed sheets. Like, I can give you 7,500 lira for these, but like that's as much as I can do. I don't know how much 7,500 lira is, but I'm guessing
not
right
much.
now can't be massive. No.
Yeah. So the thing about this is, again, the kind of the neorealism of this film is you can make a really didactic propaganda film, right? You can make a propaganda film that's like kill all pawnbrokers, right? Neorealism is a sort of like the sort of writer of this film, Cesare Zavattini, is like an avowed Marxist, right? This is the film that is making the point of you got to kill all the pawnbrokers in a sort of deft away because it's just giving you the sort of facts as if they're accidental, right? So
I'm surprised to find that he's a committed Marxist, given what we later see. But there's another detail I really like, which is that when the pawnbroker takes the sheets into the back, he's got like a whole fucking warehouse of bed sheets. Everyone has fucking pawned their bed sheets to this guy.
Another wonderful detail to me is just the staging of it. Like this pawnbroker has a tiny hole in the wall that he's talking to them through, and you can see through that hole that there's this massive great crowd back there, and it's just so clearly like it's not windows, it's just a wall to kind of protect him from seeing that huge crowd, and to keep him separate from them. Yeah,
or from them getting to him.
Yeah, you can see past him the sort of like mountains of bed sheets. And the sort of like the indignity of this guy making you sort of like pathetically grateful for getting like 7,500 instead of 7,000 lira. The guy who comes in behind the two of them is like an old man who's trying to pawn binoculars, and it's like there's not like a sort of everyday function for a pair of binoculars anymore. It's like it's an object that you keep because you sort of like you like it. Maybe you sort of bird watch or something, and it's like it is not essential to survival, so it just goes. You know?
Yeah, good choice. But so anyway, they get the bike back, and the next
out of
morning,
another room filled with
full
bikes.
of bicycles. Yeah. The next morning he reports for work. It's a nice detail here, which is that as he walks in to meet his new boss and all the team, he's carrying the bicycle, and people are like, "Why are you carrying that in here?"
Got my bike.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to lose it.
And they're like, "What do you got the fucking bike for?"
Yeah, because I need this to get the job. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, like that is so fucking important. Like, yeah. But, you know, he meets his new boss, and they give him the onboarding session. They give him the mandatory DEI training, which is very brief back in 1948 because they didn't have it.
Yeah, it's just like the Americans are the boss. End of training.
Still very much the case in some industries today. But you know, he gets his new uniform, and they're like, right, be here tomorrow at 6:45. He goes out, he chats to Marie, and he's like, hey, I get a fun uniform, I get a locker.
He's so proud of all of this. He shows her the cap, which doesn't fit him and which he's going to need her to tailor overnight. He says, you know, they used to give you shoes as well, but like it's by this guy's standards, it's a good paying job, right?
Yeah.
They have overtime even.
Yeah.
There's like a family allowance because he has like young children. And he's like, this is it. This is my ticket out of sort of poverty and desperation. He lifts Maria up to like look through the window to show her his work, and she gets the window slammed in her face. And you just get a sense that this is not, you know, for them. But so she has an errand to run. She asks if she can pay a visit to a woman. And so he sort of rides her over there on the bicycle with her sort of sitting in front of the handlebars. And she's going to see a fortune teller.
Yeah. She doesn't tell him this immediately. She just kind of says, just wait here, just go upstairs. You wait down here, I'll go upstairs. And he's like, all right. He sees some other people going up to talk to the Holy One, one who
that's
sees.
really good. He's hanging out outside the building, and some women come up and go, does the wise woman live here? And I got to be honest, if I was outside my building and I was asked that, I would respond the same way, which is going, you know what? I don't know. I'm going to go upstairs too. Like,
apparently I've been missing out on some wise woman stuff.
And also, being someone who knows the title of the movie, you're watching these fucking kids play right next to this goddamn bike that he has just like leant against the wall and walked when he paces away from, and you're going, your bike, mate. Randy,
the bicycle. The bicycle.
The bike. Everyone all of our listeners who are at Cambridge University are right now like, those fuckers. Don't let him take it, man. Just fucking gonna take the fucking bike.
But it
a lot
isn't.
of things about this movie that are not relatable to students at Cambridge University, but bicycle theft.
Theft, the number one thing that happens at Cambridge, as far as I know.
So he literally like forgets, and then when he's halfway up the stairs, he asks one of the kids to like watch his bike for him. And the whole time you're like, this is pretty fucking dangerous, dude.
Those better not be the bicycle
from
thieves
the movie,
from
the Bicycle Thieves.
You're fucked if they're the bicycle thieves, mate.
He's so paranoid about it.
Yeah.
He goes in, and his wife is waiting in a sort of long queue of people. Again, lots of queuing in this movie. To receive sort of like words of advice from the fortune teller. and she's actually there to pay her, right?
Yeah.
Because she has been to the fortune teller before, and the fortune teller is sort of like, don't worry, everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And Maria credits this with him getting the job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, she predicted you get a job, and you did. And Antonio's like, come on, this is nonsense. Like, we're not throwing money away on this. Come on.
Yeah.
Women.
He's quite rude to
He
her.
is
Not
mean about this,
He
yeah.
is. Yeah.
He's just like, how can a woman, an intelligent woman with 2 children and a head on her shoulders, sort of pay money for this? And he makes her not pay. He makes her like stiff the fortune teller out of 50 lira, which is like I saw it described somewhere in my research for this as the only sum of money in the movie that might be called insignificant, right? And he's just like, no, it's fine. Don't worry.
Never stiff a fortune teller. Never do it. Never do it.
Well, I don't think the film attributes magical powers to her necessarily, but it is an example of Antonio
it's just rude,
being sort of a little dismissive of his wife, but also stressed for good reason about money.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see the kind of a little bit of hypocrisy about this later.
Yeah.
But so
just to drive forward the poverty of it, the kids, what they're playing is like a petanque kind of like bowls thing, but they're just underarm chucking rocks and seeing if they can get them as close to each other as possible. Like it's no one has a fucking thing.
That classic throw rocks around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They get downstairs and the bike is still there. And I'm like, oh,
thank God.
I was really worried about the bicycle from the title character, really, the bicycle.
Yeah, absolutely. But so they ride home, and overnight, well, first of all, we meet their son.
Wonderful.
Bruno, who steals the movie. Bruno, who is adorable.
Yes.
When I started watching the movie Bicycle Thieves, I did not realize that this was fast going to become emblematic of remarkable young man cinema to me, because this little guy is so wonderful and he steals the show. He's so good.
He might be one of the most like heartwarming depictions of a child.
Yeah, like he's like
cinema,
6 or whatever, and he's got a job because it's post-war and everyone needs a goddamn job. I don't care if you're a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a mechanic. Yeah. Like he's introduced.
He's a Minecraft YouTuber.
Like,
no.
Looking over this guy, looking over his dad's bike.
He like fixes he like
really
cleans
sweet.
the bike for his dad, and he's like, they dented it at the pawnbrokers, and his dad has to be like, because there's nothing he can do, right? What are they going to do? Complain? His dad had to be like, no, that was there before.
Yeah. And Bruno's just like, oh, they dented it. I wouldn't have stood for that. I'd have said something. And you're like, you are 6 years old. You're adorable.
The funniest thing about this is
so Italian.
My note is literally, it's so cute how Italian children are still Italian. Like they learn to be Italian so early, because his dad is like, sort of affectionately just like, shut up now. And he's like, shut up. But he's doing the like hand.
He's doing that. He's only 6, but he's Italian at like a 12-year-old level. I've never seen anything like it.
He speaks it fluently too. And like Maria has fixed his uniform. Everyone's so proud of Antonio for having a job. She's made him lunch. Like she puts the cap on his head and like says, "You look like a cop." And like he also immediately like attacks her for a laugh.
I love this bit. He like jokingly like pretend roughs her up, which is like, it's cute and it's imitative and it's horny, right? Like these are they're clearly like attracted to each other, and she like pushes him off her, but not in a way that is like in any way sort of like traumatized. It's just like you gotta get to work.
It's very sweet. Work,
it's like, go on, get out of here, you big.
He's a bit of a pest. It's like genuinely, it's really charming,
And the charming doesn't stop because he goes into the room with Bruno and they're both getting ready for work at the same time in the same kind of way. Like Bruno's wearing a similar pair of overalls, stood up on a chair, so they're at a height, both like tucking things into their pockets together. It's very, very sweet.
Yeah, they do their hair the same way, even.
Yeah, it's cute. Bruno is really proud of his dad. It's really so they cycle off together. He drops Bruno off at work.
Yeah,
at a
Bruno
station?
who works at a petrol station.
We see the freedom that the bike allows with these fucking shots of him like cycling into the town to do his job.
The music and
the
stuff.
music is so hopeful. And it's like he's made it. He's got his bike.
He's got his job.
He drops Bruno off and is like, "I'll come back and pick you up after work on the bike."
Yeah,
and then goes into work. And a guy teaches him how to do the job, which is pretty simple. It's just like pasting up posters. And the poster in question is Rita Hayworth. So he's like sort of advertising this like impossible American glamour in Rome, which is a sort of like, at this point, bombed out shithole. I noticed as well that the guy who's teaching him is like, you got to be really precise about it, because if you leave any like lumps in the poster, the inspector is going to see them and like dock your wages. And it's like, there are no jobs for bricklayers, but they're paying a poster inspector to make sure there's no like bubbles under Rita Hayworth.
Got to inspect your posts. I'm sorry.
I would hate to have my posts inspected.
Post inspector's going to fine you.
Yeah, he's posting it over a bunch of other posters as well. Like,
yeah. But he's posting. That's his job. He's a poster.
He's posting,
and he also, there's a nice detail, which is that there are children begging in the streets as he's doing this, and we get the constant reminder of like the fucking wolf is at the door, my friend. Like, that's gonna be you and Bruno if you don't fucking put these goddamn posts up good. If you don't post good, you're gonna lose your fucking house. But then he shows him how to do one, and then he sends him off on his own. And so he's up on the ladder and he's posting. And there's
busy
a couple of guys.
Like,
yeah.
Sort of middle of town. And the thing that's interesting about this, if we're talking about a cinematic theft, right? This is as important to the film as the heist is in a heist film.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, Desika, the director of this, he used 6 cameras for this one scene.
Really? In fucking 1948?
6 fucking angles of this. Absolutely.
That's like
it's
half
important.
the cameras that there were.
He had all the cameras in Italy to take this shot.
Wow.
It's one of the things that's interesting about this film is that it's a high budget film for the day. And it both sort of time has done this, but also the sort of style of it served to kind of obscure that. So because it's very kind of documentary style, as it were, it feels like it wasn't expensive to make, but it was. But so what happens is 3 guys happen to walk past while he's painting, and we see them kind of like look at the bike, which again he's left sort of like unattended because there's no one to attend it. And it's really important that this theft is a 3-man job.
They immediately split out straight away.
Like once you watch it back knowing what's going to happen, you can kind of see the technique and the intentionality behind it. If you're watching it for the first time, it's only when one of those guys gets on the bike and just goes for it that it kind of hits you. And I didn't
realize the third guy. I didn't spot a third guy. I spotted the second guy.
Yeah, so there's 3 guys, but 2 of them are just there to like delay him. Yeah, and I think a lot about the like kind of effrontery, the like insult of theft against the person, right? Like it's a very victimizing thing, both because you have your own sort of sense of like personal property, the functional thing of like, I need that to do my job, but also all of the kind of capitalist dimension of private property, right? Someone has like trespassed against you in that way. It's like very, very like violating and intimate. Yes, absolutely.
It is, yeah. I've been robbed before. It's fucking pisses you off, right? But so this kid jumps on the bike and rides away. One guy like delays him in the street by like pretending to just sort of like turn around and be there, and the third guy is like, oh, he went that way. And they both him and man number 3 jump on the outside of a car, and they're like, there he is, follow him into the tunnel. And so they drive along, they drive through the tunnel, and then they pull this kid on the bike over. It's a different kid, different bike. And then the third guy's like, oh, sorry, I thought that was him. So sorry, bro. And Antonio's like, yeah, sure you did, you fucker. I know it was you. Fuck.
Yeah, it's just like the least convincing thing ever, but it's worked.
What are you gonna fucking do about it?
He's long gone now.
It's like a busy sort of like intersection, and it's just gone, and you see the hopelessness on Antonio's face. It is just like written all over it. And he sort of like walks back in a daze back to where he started, and he finishes the poster because, you know, what else can you do?
Well, the poster inspector's going to want to see it, but
so it sits down on the ladder and just like stares. And
he's carrying a ladder too.
Yeah.
He goes to the cops now. If you've ever gone to the cops before, you might be able to guess how effective this is.
Yes.
This is a film that suggests that the police are ineffectual, but I think also is unusually sympathetic to them in some ways. Because the cop he speaks to is like, yep, sure, got all the details, bicycle, whatever, is then called outside, where outside the window, like 500 cops and a Zenigata are getting sort of bundled into fast jeeps with nucleo celere, like fast cell on them, getting ready to like do some real cops and robbers shit. And they're like, you got to come to this thing. He's like, all right, fine, whatever, I'll be down in a minute. Comes back and is like, yeah, okay, we've written it down. Best of luck.
He's like, aren't you gonna investigate it? Are you gonna find it? And he's like, no, it's a bicycle. Like, do you know how many fucking bikes there are in Rome? And Antonio's just like, well, why the fuck did I bother reporting it? And he's like, I'll tell you why. Because we know the serial number now. So if you see it being sold in a shop, come tell us and we can verify that it's yours, right?
Which
like, oh, shit.
broadly makes sense. Like when the cop says like it would take me like a whole squad to look for it, you get the sense he isn't actually lying. And but like the sort of insult here is another cop comes up to him and is like, you know, hey, what's going on? And he's like, oh, it's nothing, it's just a bicycle.
Yeah,
and you know that it means the world to Antonio.
Yeah. By the way, we didn't mention, but he also has a baby. He has an infant baby who he says goodbye to. Yeah.
Very thin looking baby, like really just.
Yeah, no. But yeah, just that sort of thing of like your minor crimes are potentially sort of life destroying. And you see the kind of defeat on his face. And again, when he has to get the bus back to pick up his son. And it's interesting. It's like instinctively, because he's kind of on autopilot, he tries to push in line. And everybody gets mad at him. Like you've got a whole line of Italians all doing different hand gestures at you and shouting.
Really get that all
right, as he gets pushed all the way to the back,
his face,
like,
right?
It's like, you think you're so fucking special, huh?
Post boy, get the fuck out of here. No bike have an MF.
Yeah, this would be a lot easier if you had a bike, wouldn't it? But you don't, idiot.
No pedals, bitch.
Guy who is also in the line for the bus being like this MF riding the bus.
In line for the bus being like, bus wankers.
L plus no pedals. Bus wankers.
Because like the city is broke. It's this long, like really sort of pushy line that's really close. And the bus fills to like 110% capacity. The doors close. Everyone yells at the bus.
Hey, what the fuck are you doing driving away? Like, come on. Like, so, you just get the sense there are thousands and thousands of fucking people in this exact situation.
Yeah.
Everyone in Rome is currently falling down or stealing bicycles.
And he picks up Bruno, who sort of has figured out pretty quickly what has happened. But he asks, like, is the bike broken? He's like, yes, it's broken. So he walks Bruno home, and he sort of drops Bruno off at home. And it's like, I'm going back out. And he goes to, this is a little difficult to read if you're
right away.
Yeah, well, he genuinely can't.
Yeah.
It's not immediately clear what this is, but he is going to a union hall, right? And the kind of implication is the union is also the one who has gotten him the job in the first place.
Right.
And so there is a meeting of the union in there, which he interrupts looking for his friend. And there's a kind of implicit criticism in here, right? Because like the meeting is not helpful to him. It's a guy up front talking about how, you know, the union's going to get them more jobs, right?
Yeah,
that doesn't help him in the moment.
Says, he's like, everyone's unemployed. You know, welfare is humiliating, both in the applying for it and also in the very rare case that you actually get it, because like you're still on welfare and it like hurts your pride. So this guy's saying we need an enormous program of public works. And then Antonio's like, hey, is what's this guy Biar? I can't pronounce the name.
Biacco. Yeah, something.
Biaccio.
Biaccio. All right. He's like, is he here? The guy's like, fuck off. We're having a fucking communist meeting here. We can't help you, poor unemployed man. We're communists. Can't be bringing your problems in here.
Exactly. Right. As the question is whether that's an implied criticism of the union. I think so, but Bazin has an interesting thing about this where he says that the point of the union hall isn't to find lost bicycles, it's to change society such that a lost bicycle doesn't destroy your life. Right?
That's fair.
Which is something that's different about it than some of the other kind of institutions we see not helping him, like the police. Right.
Well, I thought there was an interesting point though, because in the other room where his buddy is, there's some actors rehearsing a play. And I was like, oh, interesting to put the kind of the union communist meeting and the actors rehearsing a show in the same place. I was like, are they trying to tell us something about like play acting or like pretend or something maybe?
They absolutely are, because there's a bit where the subtitles let us down here. So
I'm going to get a good grade in podcast.
Well done. Gold star.
Yay.
Gold star, Abigail. So they are rehearsing a little sort of like comic opera. And his guy Bayoko is on stage. He's doing the kind of comedy baritone bit, and he can't get his line right, because the line is it's like, why do you let people treat me that way? But the last word is people, gente, and he can't get the tone on gente right, and so it's him and the other actor arguing about how to pronounce people. And Antonio calls Bayoko off the stage to talk to him, and the actors are like, oh, for fuck's sake, we're going to be here all night, we need to rehearse. This guy doesn't understand how to sing the fucking song. And in the midst of this, you get another meeting, like a communist meeting, as sort of evidenced by the big hammer and sickle flag behind them, that sort of tries to come in and use the hall. And the other actor kicks them all out because he's like, you can meet or we can rehearse, right? So it's like either or. You can either like fuck around on the stage or we can do communism. And I'm here to fuck around on the stage.
I'm always saying this? No, I'm not. I think you could do both.
I like fucking around on the stage. I like communism. What's the problem?
This is a dramatic production, right? It's an element of self-criticism here. And especially like the communists being ushered out of the room. They're like, because we hear from the union, but like this actual like sort of like communist group, they're the one group we don't like hear anything from in this movie.
Is this that one scene in one battle after another when the guy's like, this is noise triggers? It is like, okay, you included this so people wouldn't say the movie was all, but okay, I get it.
It's also, I think the implication there is like, these are the guys who have the juice, but nothing's happening with them, But so he talks to Bayoko, and Bayoko knows like a thing or two about stolen bikes, right?
Yeah.
He's like, we'll go tomorrow, you and me, to this one street market, because whenever a bike gets stolen, it instantly gets disassembled. And you're like, this is 10 times harder now.
Yeah,
this is 100 times harder now. Like, you can recognize your bike. How the fuck are you going to recognize your bike's tires? Like,
yeah, exactly, right.
A lot of this stuff is just gone.
They do this with phones too. Is that like they'll just like rip the guts out and put it in a shipping container.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the next day,
hold on, because then Maria comes in.
Oh,
yes,
course, yeah. Right. And my note's like, oh fuck, it's my wife. Hey, babe, you might have heard some things.
Yeah, from our son, who I took home. Yeah,
who I dropped off and ran away.
She says, like, is it true? And he's, again, we see that he has some of the kind of machismo. He's like, don't cry in public,
Don't whine. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not as well. She's like, who's crying? We gotta fix it. And she is clearly crying.
Yeah.
But there's I like her kind of standing up for herself in that moment. It's not a movie with strong female characters in that sense, because it's not really about women. It's about like father and son. But, in a way that I think is broadly permissible, I guess. But I like her in this moment.
It is a movie with female characters, though, which is nice. Yeah. She's like a character. I like Maria. She's cool.
Yeah.
This guy's even like quite comforting to her. Even he's like, look, what happens is stolen goods will show up at the market. We'll go there tomorrow. We'll just check the bike serial numbers. We'll find it straight away. It'll be no problem at all. Like, really reassuring. It's really good.
Yeah. He literally says, like, you have like a bad night's sleep, and then in the morning it'll be fine.
Exactly.
So the next morning, he goes to meet Bayoko. Bayoko is a garbage man, right? And he's kind of like the king of garbage men, because he has he's like hanging off the back of a truck. He has guys, and the whole walk up to him, you're looking at this street activity, because this is a real city film, and there's a lot of like background activity, which is very sort of tightly choreographed. So you're looking at people like sweeping the streets with brooms, and you're thinking, well, those guys have jobs. There's guys with push carts, and it's like, well, they have jobs. They're not, worrying about being out on the street, but I am.
Yeah, another thing that happens a lot is the film shows us a lot of people, like every fucker has a bicycle. Bicycles are everywhere. Every motherfucker has a bicycle except you.
Yeah, it's not that remarkable to have a bicycle. It's just, it's this symbol.
But like everyone has one except you, and you need one, and they're everywhere, and you can't have one.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. But so Bayoko gets a couple of his guys together, and they go to this street market.
These garbage trucks are incredible. So
yeah, no, they're beautiful.
So beautiful.
But they drive to the thing and they know that it's been sort of broken apart. So they sort of like agree to split up. And again, because this is a street market for bicycles in particular, you are just surrounded by bicycles. And
It's
also
just
this idea that like
thousands of the things. Exactly. Yeah.
any one of them could be yours, right? Like it's just this kind of, it's an embarrassment of how many bicycles there are and how like common a thing it is, as we say. It's terrifying. It's desperate. You see them sort of go through stuff and like, it's like, how the fuck are you supposed to tell the like bell of your bicycle apart in like a storefront full of bells?
Yeah, it's impossible. But they do find a frame that is the right year and the right make that's currently in the process of being repainted.
Yeah,
so they ask the guy
by a
painter,
suspicious man.
Yes. They're like, can you show us a serial number? And he's like, fuck off.
He just decides no, basically.
Speech 70, no.
He's like, no, I'm not gonna. Fuck you.
It's like, why do you have so many points in lie? It's like asking a guy who's painting a bicycle frame, hey, can I see the serial number of that real quick? And he's like, it's not a stolen bicycle. It's interesting as well because this guy, he's like yelling at them immediately. His wife comes out to yell because Italy is a country. And you need a guy like Baiocco to do the kind of tough guy bit with them because you get the sense that Antonio, he's like relatively shy. He's a small guy. He's not gonna, like, especially with his kid there, he's not gonna like yell back at the guy.
Yeah.
And so ultimately they get a cop. And he looks at the bike and he's like, right, read the serial number. And we see when he does, Antonio like leans in as well. And the cop is like, what, you don't trust me? Because he's just that suspicious.
Yeah.
He's like, he's desperate.
Yeah, he's like, it's not about trust. It's just,
Yeah.
want to save
And to be
myself.
clear, it's not even that the cops don't do anything because the cop does check. It's just that there's nothing he can do. It isn't the right bike. Whether it's stolen or not, I think we're definitely meant to assume that it is. It's not his, so there's nothing he can do. Meanwhile,
Bruno's looking for horns.
Yeah, he's looking for horns. There's a guy in like a really nice suit blowing bubbles in the back of the shot. Like you could almost miss this. Actually, it's like quite fast. Where it's just like the kind of, again, the insult of this. But more importantly, there is just as I guess an accepted type of guy a person could be in 1948 Italy, it's the local pedophile.
Yeah, here's a sort of like a rich pedo who has come.
Great casting on this guy, though.
He does look like a pedophile, yeah. When you look
he
at
does.
him,
I assume, given its Italian neorealism,
they probably just hired a real pedophile.
They just hired a real pedophile. They're just like, do you want to come down to me in the movie? But this pedophile is trying to pick Bruno up by like offering to buy him a bell.
Yeah, and no one's noticing.
This pedophile's like petitioning for jobs the whole time. It's like, no, I need a bricklayer.
No one cares. Like he's like trying to groom him
to, like,
by being like,
No.
oh, you want a bicycle bell? I could buy you this bicycle bell. He asks the guy running the store, hey, how much does this bicycle bell sell for? And the guy tells him without a word about the like, why are you trying to buy that for a child? Why that you don't like? What, you would hope maybe that some of this would provoke comment at the very least,
No.
but it
But
just doesn't. It's
crowd-
just a completely, and it's the same thing as the queue outside the pawnbrokers, right? Where it's like there are like infinity different ways to prey on the poor, and they're completely normalized, all of them.
Yeah. Including sexually. And Bruno absolutely fucking destroys this guy. Didn't even look at him. Just goes, nah, and just like waves him away. It's just like, Bruno. I said in the chat, Bruno completely mogs Charlotte Rampling in the non-stodging Olympics. Like he just says no. When the fascist pedophile approaches Bruno, he's like, no, thank you. No.
Just politely refuse.
You can just say no. It turns out you can leave.
Why didn't I think of that? So Bruno successfully defeats pedophilia just in time for his dad to get back. And again, all Antonio does is just kind of like see the guy and like glare at him. It's not even like a huge sort of fight. It's just like it's that expected. It's like you're kind of like, of course my like 8-year-old son is sort of like constantly beset with perverts. It's just like normal part of city life.
It's really fun. I'd be like, yeah, of course he is. He's a hot kid. He's my kid. He's fucking. He looks great.
I'm so glad that you said that because I was gonna make that joke and then I was like, no, I'm not gonna say that. I can't. No, that's not appropriate.
It's a brass eye bit. It's literally a brass eye bit.
It just flies off. You're like, I take this as a compliment.
It's like, what's wrong with him? Like,
it is a brass eye bit, but also it's 2025 and we're all transgender. We live in England. Like, I was just like, I'm not gonna say that on mic.
That's pretty reasonable.
It's also striking as well that like Antonio gets the police for what is maybe his stolen bike, but not for a guy trying to groom his son.
He's like,
it's just like, fucking whatever, But so they drive to a second street market because they think that maybe they'll have better luck there.
This fucking driver.
Oh my god, this guy
so good.
World's least sensitive man. Because it starts raining and it starts really pissing it down, and to a guy that he knows is gonna have to look for his stolen bike in the rain now is like, it always fucking rains on my day off. And it's like that's realistic,
Yeah, he's just kind of moaning, and it's just like, you think you've got problems, man. Like, he drops them off at another market, and they take shelter under an awning of a building.
He nearly hits someone on the fucking drive.
Yeah, I mean,
he's
complaining about that.
Complaining about himself. He's like, oh, it's always raining, and then a guy like walks in front of his car and he barely misses. And he goes, people just appear out of nowhere in front of my car. It's fucking crazy. Anyway.
So they take shelter under the awning of a building, and at this point a bunch of people come by. They're wearing some clothes. I don't know who these people are, but they're like speaking German.
Yeah, so these are priests.
Oh, priests. Okay.
These are I think Austrian priests. Because Rome used to have a bunch of different like seminaries, so you could go to like the German speaking like theological college or whatever.
Right. Okay, cool.
But like they're standing there speaking German. Again, like I go back to Andre Bazin, who says that this is like hard to imagine a more anti-clerical scene, even though they're not like, it's not propaganda. They're not doing anything wrong. They're completely innocent in that moment. It's just a bunch of like students getting like rained on. But like they're surreal, they're unhelpful, they're incapable of helping, even if they wanted to, which they don't, because they're not sort of like invested in anyone else's life,
yeah
and they're just sort of like chattering with each other, and they're just
it's
in
just
the way.
another institution that isn't really helping him. But the rain eases off, and in that moment Antonio sees the fucking bike.
That's the bicycle
Somebody's riding
thief.
past.
Yeah,
it's a bicycle thief. From bicycle thief.
There he is.
It is time once again to run down the street shouting "Al ladro," the thief.
He's talking to this old man, and obviously Antonio doesn't get this, but we get a shot that's up close for these guys talking, and we know that they're like co-conspirators in something, because the old man is giving this guy money or receiving money. There's money changing hands. So we know that they are connected, but they chase after this guy, and he just like gets away because he's on a bike. And they're running.
They lose it. No one helps.
Not a single person.
Like, a lot of people
Nobody
kind
does.
of look over and be like, damn, that's crazy, but no one helps.
Damn, that's crazy.
He recognizes the guy in part because he's wearing the same clothes. He has this like army jacket and this like Nazi hat. He has like a German army cap that he wears. So they go back to look for the old man.
Like it's not, the Nazis haven't come back to steal this guy's bike. Like it's
it's just like this was the kind of clothing that was lying around in like 40s Italy.
It's one of the things that's out there.
Yeah, listeners, if you were waiting for this to be the entrance to another kind of big conspiracy, like it's John Wick or something, it's not.
Just a poor guy stole his bike.
The guy wears a
are forced into these things.
Distinctive hat. But so they go back and chase the old man, and they get lured into this like maze of streets.
Yeah, they like chase this guy down. Bruno's going off, and eventually they catch him on this bridge, and now they're going like, I know that you were talking to this guy, but they don't confront him about it. He's trying to play it cool. He's going like, I need to talk to that guy that you were talking to. I've got business with him.
This guy does not look good. This guy looks like a serious alcoholic for one thing, and dirt poor for another.
Oh yeah.
Well, so they follow him to a church. And it doesn't tell us what's going on here. You just kind of have to put it together. This church is putting on, because it is Sunday, is putting on a service and also a meal.
Yeah, it's a soup kitchen. Like
it's a soup kitchen.
Yeah.
For
it's also administered by visibly wealthy women.
Yes, it is.
They're doing like, they're offering like a shave as well. And you can see a very rich man in an apron sort of visibly uncomfortably shaving poor people. And again, it's like very institutional. It's very impersonal. Big crowds, queues. And this guy goes in, and Antonio and Bruno just follow him in a kind of like, we are going to stand here and shame you silently until you talk to us kind of way.
It's like, we'll be present. You can go wherever you want. We're going to be like nearby.
The guy doing the shaving turns out to be a lawyer who is then called in to organize the church service. And they do,
because you've got to sit through the church service first before you can get
like
the
Salvation Army, like a lot of like religious charity stuff where it's like you have to listen to X amount of our bullshit before we will feed you, right?
It's like an unskippable ad before you can get the fucking content you came for.
Exactly.
So there's a little yellow bar underneath the priest, and you're like, fucking get on with it. I thought I had a VPN.
The form of the mass is of course, like reverent, right? That's what it's meant to be. Antonio is just trying to like shove in next to the guy because reverence is for when you aren't distracted by a life or death struggle for your fucking bicycle, you know?
And he's like, it's not even DiCaprio's best movie. Like,
we see the lawyer lead the church in prayer before mass, and he says, "Oh my Lord, we your poor souls yearn for sanctity. We embrace the trials of our lives and tread the path of sorrow." Right? So like the like anti-theism of this, and specifically the anti-Catholicism of this is manifest, right? Because you have a very rich guy describing himself as a poor soul equally to, you know, a bunch of poor people, but also the sort of Marxist view that like what the church serves to do, what it's there for, is to be like, you should embrace the poverty, you should embrace the sort of trials and the suffering, right? And you are being told that by someone who does not appear to be suffering very much themselves.
Just sort of noble, savage view of the poor, you know?
Pretty much. It's like, it doesn't hit you over the head with it, this movie, but it's really fucking really good. Anyway, Antonio sits next to this old man. He's like, look, you fucker, like, I need to talk to that kid. I need to talk to the bicycle thief from the movie The Bicycle Thief. And the old man's just like, I don't fucking know what you're talking about. I've never seen a bicycle in my life. How many wheels? No clue.
Why do you have so many points in life? He's getting like angrier and angrier, because he's like, and by the end of it, he's like, I'm like, he's audibly disturbing people.
Yeah,
as well, and like disturbing the mass.
At him,
And he's like, I'm sick of begging you, right? Like, you fucking tell me where I can find this guy. Or
he tries
like
threatening him, he tries bribing him, like he tries everything.
There's
and so the guy's like, okay,
you.
fine. He's in number 15 next location street. All right, leave me alone.
Yeah.
He's like, no, you fucker. You're gonna come with me. We're going right now. Come on, get up. And they squabble and they cause a bit of a scene. And these, again, very wealthy people, these like very clean cut, I know they're Catholics, but they look like Mormons because they've got the kind of slick back hair and the suits. They come up to him and they're like, shh, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Very well-groomed ushers being like, this is a church, you know?
Yeah.
And this turns into a little chase.
You can't be bringing the problems of your life into this place. This is a church, okay?
Yeah, we're not here to help people. What the fuck?
Yeah, come on.
I mean, I guess if you wanted to mount Bazan's defense of the Union Hall in defense of the church here, which he doesn't, right? This is the thing he's contrasting, is the union exists to change society, the church exists to like keep it as it is, right? If you wanted to mount a theological defense, you could be like, it's meant to sort of like save your soul in a way that has nothing to do with lost bicycles. Fine, whatever. Jerk off motion, not important. What happens is you get a kind of farcical chase scene, and this is funny. It's a comedic bit in the movie because it's like him in like the fight of his life looking for this guy versus two clueless rich boys who are just like, can you keep it down? This is a fucking church.
Such well cast rich boy as well. He's so visibly like doesn't have a care in the world. Like he's so clean shaven, like smooth skinned, fucking like not a speck of dirt on him. You know that this guy has not struggled at all.
So like Bruno in search of help like opens the confessional to find a priest in there who just slaps him. Asshole.
Yeah, straight away.
Pops him on the head.
Yeah. As they're running through, there's a really funny bit where Antonio just runs and the two ushers stop to genuflex in front of the altar before chasing after him, and then Bruno does as well a second after them. It's like that's Looney Tunes comedy timing. It's really quite cute. But they try and find the old man who has fled the scene. He's fled the building, and ultimately they get sort of like kicked out of the church, and they've lost him completely. And Antonio is sort of like at his wit's end at this point. He does not know what he's going to do.
Bruno makes some kind of like comment. I can't remember what it is. I can't remember what it is that Bruno says.
I don't remember either. It's
Antonio
really
turns around and like belts him across the face.
Yeah, he hits him. And there's a beautiful reverse shot here of his own kind of like immediately, instinctively horrified reaction that he's done this.
Yeah.
I've gone back. Bruno's line is just like, why did you let him go for the soup?
Oh, yeah. Because he said out of like charity, he's like, because the old guy's like, just let me get the soup first and then I'll come with you. And that's the excuse he uses to like flee. But yeah, so he hits Bruno. And having been obviously sort of like horrified by this, he then tries to like unconvincingly play it out and play tough about it, because Bruno is like, he's crying, right? Like he sort of like runs off and
away.
Like, yeah,
goes and stands behind a tree. Yeah, it's like,
yeah, he's afraid.
This is your boy. Like, don't hurt him.
Yeah.
Also, there's a touch I really like, which is that in this sequence, the camera is at Bruno's height. It's such a nice little detail. Like, we're on his level, we're with him, and then we're looking up at Antonio, who's like bigger than us, and it's like, oh my god, like, you feel so sorry for this kid who's just like, why did you hit me? Like, I'm gonna tell mom, like, you can't do that, and like, it's so it's heartbreaking.
You can see how he sort of like got to the place of doing it instinctively. This is not someone who has like hit their child because they've convinced themselves it's a good idea. It's like someone who is desperate and frustrated, lashing out in a way that is like sort of unforgivable.
Yeah. And as they walk on, Bruno is like keeping his distance, like a good 10 paces away from him. Like, it's so sad. Like,
again, it's the kind of the neorealism here is it's important that Antonio is not like, he's not even a particularly good man sometimes. He's just ordinary, right? He's poor and he's average and he's normal, and you know he has done something terrible here for completely explicable reasons. You know, you can kind of see the context behind it, which is what the film is about, right?
Yeah.
And they separate briefly, like because his Bruno's keeping his distance, and then this is the scene that always fucking breaks me in this film.
Yeah, God.
It's one of the most human pieces of cinema I've ever seen.
It's beautiful.
Right? Because Antonio's walking, he's not really looking for Bruno because like he's ashamed as well. Like, I think that's obvious.
He tells him to like wait by the bridge. I'm going to see if the old man went down.
Yeah, he's walking with this real tension. Like, he keeps clenching and unclenching his fists. Like, he's got this real like tension in his motion.
Yeah.
And he hears all of a sudden, like off in the distance, like the sound of some people seeing a boy drowning and being like, oh my God, like, let's all go help this guy. Like, there's someone in the river, there's a boy in the water.
And he starts walking and then sort of like running towards it. And the way his sort of face breaks in this is like, is incredible. And then as he gets closer and he sees them pulling a sort of an older boy out of the river, the relief when he realizes that the like suffering isn't aimed at him for once is just incredibly human. I think it's like as a sort of like portrait of a society of like us as a species, just to be like in that sort of instinctual conflicted space where you're like you're seeing sort of like unfathomable horror and you're relieved instinctively because it isn't happening to you. It recontextualizes everybody else we've seen in the movie who hasn't helped him, and it also it's like, I think about the bit from the beach scene from Under the Skin, right, of sort of wading into sort of like icy water to try and like save someone else. And just sort of like, that is a spectacle of like human suffering. And this is one of the only times in the film we see people helping each other as well, is like rescuing this boy from the water. And he survives as well. But it's really crucial to me that we get the relief before that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, it's very true. And
we
so
even get little like church
Bruno's
bells
okay.
pealing in the background
Yeah,
as he
yeah,
sees
yeah.
Bruno again. And it's like
it's really nice. Bruno's still a little sort of upset and cagey as they walk on.
He
He's a bit
tries to
sullen.
sort of like repair it because this truck full of football fans go past because the football is on. And he tries to reach out to him a bit by being like, is Modena a good team? And Bruno's like, I don't know. Behind them, by the way, there's this romance scene playing out.
6-7, and Bruno's like, don't do
that. Don't do that.
Behind them, there's a man and a woman sort of like talking romantically with like no heard dialogue, and it's just like there are 8 million stories in the naked city, right? Like, and all of this is very tightly choreographed. One of the most important things I ever learned about film was that nothing is in the film by accident. Even when it is, it isn't, right? Like that's a decision of sort of mise en scène and editing and all of that. And so to make a film about a city where there is always some human sort of like drama, tragedy going on in the background, it really makes you feel that like, you know, things get pulled out of the crowd and then disappear back into it.
I'll tell you what else, this film really conveys the importance of background artists, of supporting artists.
There's
like
absolutely
dozens and dozens of people in every shot.
And they're so fucking good, and they really kind of sell the story. Nowadays, you probably like, you know, this scene by the riverside, you probably shoot it on a green screen and just kind of, you know, blur stuff out, or like maybe have a couple background people crossing in the background. But like to use background extras not merely as kind of bodies providing motion so that they're there so you don't notice them, but to use them as a detail. But like if you look, you will get more out of the story. I just think it's beautiful.
And it's like some of them are happy. Like this couple are in love. The football fans are happy because they're enjoying their thing, which is something that's inaccessible to them. And so we get this decision that Antonio makes that again sort of gently puts in front of you where a sort of more propagandistic, where a more didactic film would yell it at you like you cannot ever judge the financial expenditures of poor people, right? He looks in his wallet and goes, I can get a little bit financially unwise with it to cope.
Yeah.
Right?
Fuck it. Let's go out for dinner.
He says, let's go and get a pizza.
Yeah.
And Bruno's like, yeah, okay.
Bruno's like, I can eat a pizza. Pizza.
It's like, why should I kill myself worrying when I'll end up just as dead, right? And so they go to a restaurant that is maybe a little too fancy for them, and they kind of hesitate in the door a little bit, but it's fine. They get seated, and Antonio's kind of getting into the swing of the denial here, and he's like, it's fine, we'll get drunk, we'll get a bottle of wine. So you cannot ever judge the drug consumption of poor people. And so they're like, can we get a pizza? Snooty waiter goes, no, we don't do that.
That's crazy.
Sir, this is an Italian restaurant in the middle of Rome. We do not do pizza. We do toasted mozzarella sandwiches.
This is what Italians actually believe, right? So like I can do some gastronomy corner here, right?
Because every meal, I'll tell you.
Pizza is not a Roman institution. Historically, it's more associated with Naples and the south of Italy.
Pizza Quae Romani?
And
sausage, peppers.
I've been out in Naples. They do a good pizza. Fair play.
Italy has, and especially in 1948, had a really stark divide between the north, wealthier, industrialized, trying to convince themselves they're all Austrians, right? And Rome as a weird kind of exclave of that, and the south, which was dirt poor, and I mean dirt poor. Like bits of like Sicily and Campania and stuff were, looked like the 19th century into the 70s. And so pizza, which is a street food and associated with the south of Italy, is poor people food, right? To order this, it's a little bit like, I'm not sure what the British valence would be now, but like at the same time, it's like, I don't know, it's like pie and mash or something, right? Like maybe like. It's not fancy enough. It's a poor people food.
Like with the American, no, that's maybe. I was going to say with the American equivalent, kind of be like tacos. Maybe that's introducing a kind of like racialized, or immigrant dynamic to it that isn't there. But anyway, this guy's like, we don't do pizzas. We do toasted mozzarella sandwiches, and I'm like,
because this is a trattoria, not a pizzeria. It's like, and Bruno genuinely was, what do you mean? What do you mean you don't have a fucking pizza?
And then but so they order some toasted mozzarella sandwiches. At the next table
this is so good. This fucking snobby ass
directors used to be communists. There's this rich family. There is a there's a kid about Bruno's age wearing his fucking sailor suit and eating a fig and ladyfinger McFlurry very delicately.
It's got sub-fusk on for some fucking reason. Like, it's just this. It's like this obviously posh kid, and he like side eyes Bruno. Like he leans around from his plane, like looks at him.
There's a moment off of this divide where Bruno looks back where you genuinely get the sense that this is the first time in his life he is realizing that he's poor.
Yes. Yeah, and it's great acting from this kid.
Fucking heartbreaking because to a kid, like the environment that you grow up in just seems normal, right? And you don't know that he's ever been confronted with this kind of wealth before. And it's like of an age as well where you learn to be like ashamed of yourself or ashamed of your parents or things like that, right? And so like it's this heartbreaking thing because this kid is like eating with like a knife and fork that Bruno doesn't really know how to use as well. He's like he ends up eating this mozzarella with like his fingers and getting like grease on his face. And again, it's like the realization that you're not just poor, but you're like working class, like you're not fancy, you don't know how to do this.
Bruno has achieved class consciousness and is not happy about it.
No.
And so Antonio notices this, and he says, "Oh, if you were to eat like that family, you'd need $1 million lira a year." And he says, "Well, let me kind of write down for you what my salary would have been and how much money we would have made."
He does the maths
and like shows him the maths, and he's like, like we could have had Dolmio Day every day.
He literally says of this sort of relative pittance, like who could want more? Because it fulfills like all of his sort of like survival needs, right? And he says, we're not going to find the bike. So you see, we need the bike. We're not going to find it with prayer, right? The saints will not help us.
Yeah, we've got to find the bike, but we'll never find it. We'd have to have like psychic powers or something.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Wait a second.
The movie lays down in front of you its next card. You cannot ever judge the religious appeals of poor people, right? Because like we've had 3 decisions here, right? Which are go and like spend money you don't have on food, get drunk, and go and see a fortune teller. We know that none of these will work, but we also know that they're all comforting, right?
Yeah. We also knew that even yesterday he said, that it wasn't going to work. Like,
desperation.
Or 2 days ago. Yeah.
You're not you when you're hungry, right? Like, when it's not your Dolmio Day.
They're like, well, we'll go and see Italian Professor X, who's plugged into Bicycle Cerebro, and she'll find it.
There's this really beautiful moment I just want to pull out really quickly in the tutorial where when our main character here says that to eat like this rich family you'd need to get at least $1 million a month, Bruno like puts the sandwich down, like as if to like stop eating it. Like this is clearly a kid who's used to the like, no, we can't afford that, we don't have enough money kind of argument, and like he has to go, no, you can eat it, it's okay. It's just such a wonderful little character moment for Bruno.
God.
So they go to the fortune teller, and Antonio cuts in line again. It's a real habit of his when he's desperate. And she's telling a guy who is not ugly that he is ugly, and sort of like charging him for the privilege. And then he makes a fatal mistake, which is to ask a psychic a question with a real answer.
Direct questions like, "Where's my bike?" She's like, "Oh, I don't know, not 100% on that one."
What she tells him is, if you don't find it today, you're never going to find it. Which he knows. He knows that already. He knows it's urgent.
Those are like very much the 2 options here. Yeah.
And this time he does pay her as well. When he's sort of like, he's well enough off to know that it's bullshit, he doesn't pay her. But this time he's like, he's been given an answer that he knows is nothing, but it's like he's sort of willing to have faith in it financially. So he goes outside, he runs into the fucking guy.
Yeah, it's the guy. He doesn't have the bike, but it's the kid who stole the bike, and he's like, "You're the fucking bicycle thief from the movie The Bicycle Thief. We're looking for you all fucking day."
Really good. They walk past him in the street, just like, "I want my bike back, by the way." And the guy's like,
Yeah.
They chase him into a brothel where the sex workers throw both of them out. And then he chases him down in the street, and you can see Antonio getting angry to the point of violence, right? Like he's grabbing the guy by the lapels.
He's like, I will kill you if I don't get my
And
bike
again,
back.
you see that from Bruno. You see the like, you are seeing your father threaten someone with violence as like for the first time, maybe.
Yeah.
But so, you know how one thing Antonio doesn't have in any of this is really any kind of community?
Do you know who does have a community?
Unfortunately.
Like, he's got one friend who helps, but he's got one friend, he's got a union that doesn't help, the church doesn't help. Now, this guy, as he's sort of like being grabbed in the street, this guy's got a community.
This guy's got a community.
Oh yeah.
It's a real like the worst full of passionate intensity kind of moment as you see the whole street kind of
notice and stand up and start walking towards him. It's so good. Like he's arguing with this guy. He doesn't see anything else. They've turned the corner. He's barely like noticed that they're in a different location, right? And he's like threatening him. And you just see people who are like sat around in the street being like, oh, that's my boy. That's my boy getting threatened by this weird guy I've never seen before.
They start walking over like it's fucking pluribus, and they're like, "How dare you accuse Sticky Fingers Jimmy the bicycle thief of having stolen your fucking bicycle?"
They are in Crime Alley. We know from having seen the movie that the theft was organized between 3 people. And besides that, every single one of these people looks like the most, like there's one guy who is 100% a mafioso. Like he is wearing a pinstripe suit.
It's so good. That's so fucking good. Because the whole community starts yelling at him. This is Shakedown Street. The whole community starts yelling at him. And then like this guy comes in wearing like a perfect suit and like sunglasses, like modern style sunglasses. Yeah. And like we've never seen anyone dressed anywhere near this good all movie. We've not seen the priests. We've not seen the communists. We've not seen like the police. But this guy has money. And you know immediately that he's a mafia guy.
Yeah. He also tells him, go and get the cops. Go get the cops. See what happens. It's like...
and Antonio's getting like abused to the point and like shoved and pushed to the point that he's like picking up like a 2x4 from the street because in case he has to like sort of hit someone. And Bruno runs for the cops.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Sticky Fingers Jimmy the bicycle thief faints or like has a seizure.
He has a seizure. Yeah, he's an epileptic fit. We don't know if he's faking that as well. Like, clearly Antonio believes he is, but we don't know.
We don't know that.
And it's kind of the exploit disability Uno reverse card of like, actually, I think you'll find I'm going to fall down and like try and bite through my own tongue now.
And his mum, Sticky Fingers Jimmy the bicycle thief's mum, is there. She's like, I'm Mrs. Jimmy the bicycle thief.
Really wonderful.
I mean, leave my kid alone.
She starts by leaning out of a window, classic mum style, be like, hey, Jimmy, what's the problem? And he's like, I don't know, mum, don't worry about it. This guy thinks I stole his bike or something. That's crazy.
You can genuinely kind of believe for a second until you see the mafioso that it's like, oh, these are just normal people, right?
He's got the wrong guy, maybe.
Yeah. This is Crime Street. This is 100% Crime Street. And it's just that the professional thieves are organized, right? You're not, because you're just a guy.
Yeah. It's like, my brother, we call it organized crime for a reason. We have
organized,
schedules.
Really petty crime, but still.
We have teams meetings.
We minute this shit.
Bruno gets a carabinieri who shows up in his like insane uniform.
Hell yeah.
And again, like this guy, he's not even unsympathetic, which is kind of the worst part. And this is realistic. Like my admittedly limited dealings with cops have basically been on this tone of like, yeah, sure, we accept that you're a victim of crime. Sucks to be you. Kind of nothing we can do about it. So feels bad.
They search the kid's house. The cop is like,
the whole time this is happening as street theater, right? Everyone is getting a shot off at these guys. It's like, oh, go ahead. Like 4 of us live in one room. As you can see, we have a ton of space for stolen bicycles.
Like they
and
look
they're not
under
living
the
well.
bed. Like no, they're not living well. No, they're
is
not
poverty.
high on the saddle.
Yeah. Also, we've seen inside of Antonio's house. Like we know that it's not anywhere near like it's the same as this, right? Like this is clearly just like poor on poor. But also, if you've stolen a bike, you're not going to store it at your house. That's crazy.
Yeah, and so the bicycle thief's mum is like, you should, instead of insulting him like this, you should give my boy a job because he's been looking for one for ages, which we know you can't get one. And so we get this kind of, we've had the church as fast, now we get the law as fast because the cop is like, okay, look, we can't find it. you can press charges if you want. All of these people are going to be witnesses for him. Do you have any witnesses? No. Okay. Well, what do you want to do? And Antonio gets angry again. And he's like, well, I could attack him. He's like, well, if you do, I'd have to arrest you. This is ridiculous. It's a joke. It's a kind of mechanical operation, the results of which are just farcical.
Yeah. You really feel for him in this moment. So they get outside and the whole street's like, "Whoa, find your fucking bike, dickhead!"
Yeah, he's like walking away. Everyone is being like, "Hey, dickhead!"
Yeah.
It's so
the whole
brutal.
street is watching him and taunting.
Well, because the cop says, "Do you want to press charges?" And then Antonio just like pushes past and walks away, and then everyone's like, "Whoa!"
Fucking brutal.
As an example, so like if there's one kind of negative quality you can attribute to Antonio more than anything, it's carelessness, right? He imagines Bruno almost fucking drown, right? In doing so, he leaves Bruno behind and has to go back and get him.
Yeah.
And then in the course of sort of walking, because he doesn't like hold his hand or anything when they're crossing the street, Bruno almost gets run down by two really expensive looking cars because his dad is just too in his own head. He's too distracted by all of this to like watch him.
Yeah. So they sit down outside the football stadium. Bruno's exhausted, and we get some shots down at his height where he's tuck it out. It's really like you really feel for Antonio. He's like, fuck, my kid is like knackered and I don't have my bicycle and we're gonna fucking starve. And this is the moment where like every motherfucker in the world is on a bicycle. There's so many bicycles around.
Yeah, he's just looking out at this fucking sea of bikes.
Yeah, there's like racks and racks of like parked bikes outside the stadium.
Yeah,
But the thing that really breaks
wrestling
him
with it, right? Like,
the thing that ultimately moves him off of this curbstone is a bicycle race goes past.
Fuck off.
And the insult of like riding bicycles for sport is the thing that finally breaks him. And it's like, it's not even that a bicycle race is in itself inherently insulting, but the capitalism makes it so because that's like a perfectly ordinary, relatively low value functional object that you need. Otherwise you're finished. And these people can just use it for play, right? Like, because you don't guarantee the kind of the minimum, the maximum is sort of like, it has a kind of violence to it. And so he stands up. He gives Bruno the sort of last of his money. He's like, take the tram home. Because he doesn't want him to see this.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to become the bicycle thief from the 1948 Italian movie, The Bicycle Thief.
Yeah, well, that's why the title is Bicycle Thieves, plural.
Exactly.
Like, it's a movie about two crimes. Because he sees a bike just standing on its own outside an apartment building. And rather than take one from the like racks of bikes,
hurt people.
He walks up to it. Yeah.
I'd have done this like top of day one. I wouldn't have wasted all this time. But all right.
It's like, I was
There's
just
this
gonna steal a
beautifully
bike.
composed shot of him, like him on one side of a telegraph
It's
pole
so
and the
fucking
bike on the other, and whether or not he's gonna like cross that kind of
He's
boundary.
like back and forth. You like there's so many shots of his face as he's like looking back at this, and you see him wrestling with it. And eventually he goes for it. He goes, Bruno, here's some money. Go and get on the tram home. I'll meet you in a minute. And he goes for it. He walks over,
takes the bike,
gets on the bike, and starts going away. But this time, there's a community. This time, people are willing to stop the bike thief.
Yeah. Thieves have class solidarity. Bourgeois have class solidarity. And the thing about like heist movies, right, is that they offer a fantasy of like stealing from the rich, right? Stealing from the rich is a fatal fucking mistake, and that's why most people who steal never do it, right? Like, because as happens, if you steal from someone rich enough, 50 other rich guys spawn on top of you, and you are sent to prison for 1 billion years. Like, robbery, theft is a crime best perpetrated against other poor people.
That's the official stance of the podcast.
Yeah, most effectively. And the thing is, we see
the cops are ineffective, so we know that it has to be a class solidarity thing that like gets anything done. So it's
very true.
Like all of these
you don't live any
just
better from it stealing from poor people.
Right.
Like you just get to be equally poor, but it's just it's a living, right? And so he steals the bike, and 1 million guys in suits and nice loafers just
pour
chase
out
him
of the fucking building. It's just like after
fucking
him.
corner.
Like Agent Smiths in the fucking Matrix Reloaded, just like Italian dudes just bursting out of everywhere.
Yeah, he gets
Horde
pulled
mode,
off the
yeah.
bike. He's getting like slapped and kicked and insulted.
They pull him off the bike.
Bruno sees him cycle past,
Yes.
pursued
Yeah.
by 1,000
Bruno
richos.
missed the tram,
Yeah.
and he sees all this happen.
He watches his father getting caught and pulled off the bike, and everyone is slapping him and yelling at him, and the kid he runs up and he's crying, and this guy who's had his bike stolen sees the kid, and he sees this guy, and he just goes, "Oh, get out of here."
Yeah, because they're talking about which police station to take him to. Because, and again, like, legally, both he and the first bicycle thief are equally guilty.
Yeah.
But he's been caught red-handed. And so he's, like, actually on the hook for this until the guy, like, pities him because he sees Bruno crying.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Fine example you're setting for your kid, man." And it's like, oh
my God.
I think about the line in Parasite, like, I'd be nice too if I had that much money, right? Like, I'd set a better example for my kid too. If I had a fucking bicycle, which I don't.
I was setting a great example earlier on. We all saw it. But then my fucking bike got
we
nicked.
were having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guy who did everything right by chance, and I think the chance is what makes it so plausible. There's a bit that Bazin says about this where he's like, there are bits in this movie where you feel like he could have found the bicycle, and in that moment the lights would have gone up and the director would have come out and said, "Sorry, our bad. We really didn't think he was going to find it, but he has. Good for him. Show's over."
Oh damn!
You know?
Fair enough.
It's like it's like plausible and it's banal, and so instead, like, they let him go, and the last guy to sort of like kick him away says, "And you can thank God as well," which is like. Again, because this is a quality of mercy that is not really, right? Because he's still in the fucking situation.
Yeah, he still doesn't have a bike.
They walk away.
Well, it's like, again, if you're going to put this in a Christian framing, and we could have done this equally for religion season, right?
Very
we have
true.
had an entire church full of people like invoking God in the same way that we've had a union hall sort of like invoking like help for the poor, but not helping the poor, right? If you look at something Jesus actually said of, if someone like wants your shirt, just fucking give them your shirt. The correct thing the merciful thing to do there is not to be like, okay, we don't put this guy in jail. It's to give him the fucking bicycle. No one does that, right? That's why it's such a weird thing to do. So instead we get them just like Antonio and Bruno just walking back into the crowd in the same way that we've seen all of the kind of background actors do. They become background actors.
They hold hands, and Bruno says something which was like really the line of the movie for me. He looks at his father and he says, "Watch any movie and series with subtitles for free, open subtitles.com." And I was like, damn, that really says it all, doesn't it? Yeah. Really powerful.
The thing about the hand holding
I fucking love it when the movie with subtitles does that. I'm just like, oh, hell yeah. I loved it in The Transporter too. I was like, that's the best line of the movie.
The thing about the hand holding is I think it's the moment when you see Bruno shift from seeing his father as his father, this kind of like godlike figure, to like a human being. Because you have that moment with your parents, of course you do, where you realize that they're people.
I remember that moment with my father at my grandmother's funeral. I remember taking my father's hand in that moment and realizing that he was a human being. Like, it's so fucking powerful to put that on screen.
Yeah,
I remember it too, but I can't mention it because I know he listens to this.
It's and to have it happen in something the facts of which are so ostensibly unimportant. We know why they're important to the characters, but it's like the plot of this movie, from a sort of like, if you zoom out to a societal level, might never have happened. You know, it's not something you could write like a newspaper article about, you know, like man has bicycle stolen. And you're just left with this, like, life continues, you endure or you don't, you're still poor, and you just kind of disappear back into the crowd.
Yeah, we don't find out what happens to them.
No. And what we get, my open subtitles moment is what's the Italian for the end?
Fine.
It comes up at the end, as in all Italian movies, it comes at the end and it goes, fine. And I'm like, yep, it's pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah, we got to watch more Swedish movies because the Swedish for end is slut. So
really good.
Yeah. and
I'm often being told that when I finish.
Fine slut. Acceptable.
And that's And that's the movie, The Bicycle Thieves.
Yeah.
What the fuck have we learned
Antonio
about
Ricci will
masculinity?
return in Bicycle Thieves 2 Second Gear.
I think what we've...
Bicycle Thieves Hell on Wheels.
There's a post-credits theme where he gets recruited by fucking...
putting together an initiative.
What's the name of that fucking guy with the eye patch?
Avengers, Nick Fury.
Nick Fury. There it is. God. Oh, I'd forgotten. That's so perfect. You know what? I'm happy with that. I'm okay to forget Marvel stuff.
I think what we've learned from this movie is that masculinity is socially constructed.
It is.
Yes.
Massively constrained by the material conditions. Your dad is a person.
Your dad is a person.
Your dad's a person. He has to make decisions all the time.
Your dad is the person that he is because he grew up in a certain context, right? And that presented to itself not as like a political theory so much as like the imminent bare facts of his life.
Yeah,
right?
he didn't fall off the dad tree. He exists in the context of all that came before him.
Exactly.
And the beautiful woman that you are today, you are the way that you are because of social reproduction of those things as well as those conditions, right? So like it's not just your own conditions that you are a transsexual woman. You also contain within you like the social conditions of your parents, right? Because this stuff is sort of like heritable.
Yeah.
And like masculinity can contain sort of really brutal violence that as often as not is born out of desperation. And it's just sort of like drawing that line to be like, you know, sometimes it's sort of the arrogance of power, which you see with the thieves. Sometimes it's like the helplessness of the disempowered, right? We don't know. But ultimately, like, we are all prisoners of it. And you can try and sort of like think these things out and try and react to them. But as I say, the really brutal stuff has a way of presenting as just like imminent facts about your life.
Yeah.
Like whether or not you can pay rent.
Class is so fucking important. Listeners, if you're not a communist, consider it.
Become one now.
Trans your gender.
Become a communist.
I'll tell you what, transing your gender will do some very interesting things to your class position, listeners.
You will become aware of some,
If you get involved in your community, you can steal bikes and they will defend you.
That's very true.
If you properly, if you're like a real like go-getter for the people in your environment, then they'll trust you.
Start getting into a sort of like mutual aid bike theft ring.
Absolutely.
I guess that's a lesson for you if you already are a communist, which is your theoretical communism is very useful, but you have to go out and steal bikes. I mean, do brake light clinics. I mean, you have to help people where they are first.
You have to help it. Like, don't steal from the rich. They've got the police on their side.
You have to sort of like dig people out of the rubble enough that they're able to like, think about the communism. And that's when you hit them with the communism. That's the lesson.
Absolutely.
But we don't
just have to rate this movie communistically.
Oh, you're so right.
No, it's
true.
We don't have to sort of like do practical things. We can do theoretical things, such as the scum system, our objective marker for how good movies are.
Stands for saddle, post.
You think it's theoretical. There's a physical scum in a bunker in France.
Yeah. One scum. Yeah. They tried to redefine it as the length of time it takes one particle of light to like watch the movie The Bicycle Thieves, but it didn't really work out.
It's a 12th of carbon 12. Get a grip.
It stands for SMARM, cultural insensitivity, unprovoked violence, misogyny. I feel like this is kind of not a good schema for talking about this movie. How smarmy is this movie?
Not phenomenally so.
Zero.
Not
0 points.
It's nil pois.
It's got a couple of bits with the genuflecting. I think it's a bit like, it's a funny gag. I don't know. I'm clutching at straws though. I think that's just a joke.
Yeah,
I think that's just a joke. Yeah, one.
The soundtrack gets a bit melodramatic at the end.
I think it's a bit. Yeah, no, I'd give it 1, but I think even that's kind of unfair.
Very true, but it's also so sincere, and we take points off for sincerity.
Give it 0.
0. I think it's 0.
It's not smarmy at all.
It's the antithesis of Smum.
Yeah. No. Unprovoked violence.
Cultural insensitivity. Cultural insensitivity first.
Cultural insensitivity. It's not the sum system.
Oh yeah, suck 'em. Sorry, maybe.
Cultural insensitivity. Well, I mean, it does include a racist comedy song, which we didn't mention.
It does, yeah. In the Trattoria, they're singing about. They're singing racistly.
They are. Yes, that's true. And there are no people of color in the film, as far as I know.
That's true. Which there could well be, is the thing. Like,
That's
there's no historical reason
there
to say
were.
that there might not be. And to present your vision of Rome is, I don't know. We do like 2 for a mission. I really don't think there's any
I don't think there's more than
malice
that.
in it beyond the song, which might bump it up to a 3.
Mhm.
So
yeah, it seems weird that like race doesn't play a part of this at all.
yeah,
You'd think they could have worked that in.
There is definitely a critique of capital that you need to be doing with race that it doesn't. But then there's one of misogyny that it also doesn't do, because it's the film that it is, right? It's a film about father and son, and they're both white. I don't know. I would say 3, but I also don't think it maps on very well to my feelings about the film.
Very true.
Yeah, I agree. I think 2. Like, I think omission is what it does.
Okay,
I don't think 3 is justified.
We'll go 2 then. Okay. Unprovoked violence.
There is some, but the film explicitly tells us that it's bad.
Yeah, like he gets so frustrated that he lashes out at his son. He starts lashing out at the people around him, and every time it like makes his situation worse. It like reduces his standing in the situation that he's in. I don't think there's anything.
Yeah, the movie immediately takes Bruno's side and shows us how horrible this is.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the movie also arguably says that there's no such thing as unprovoked violence, in that it's all provoked by society, right? Like there is a kind of like, there is a greater violence you are a victim to that then sort of like causes you to do that. Like even the bicycle thief, because I think it's important that the thieves are, that like the actual bicycle thief, I think it's a piece of shit, right? Like, I don't think he's really like smug about it. And like, obviously he's not living in good conditions, right? But like, I don't think any of these people feel bad. I think that still matters, because you can then go, okay, sure, but they still live in the same social conditions, right? Like they're still created in the same way, even if it's not through outright desperation. So again, I'm thinking like 1 or 0, in the sense that like it depicts it, but strongly negatively, you know?
0?
0 again, yeah, sure.
Yeah, no, genuinely.
And
finally,
then
misogyny.
There's a moment that we didn't mention, but when they, and I think it's a good thing. I like it. When they go into the brothel pursuing the bicycle thief, a lesser movie would have done a bunch of gags about like, you know, women in sexy lingerie coming up and like, and like running away. No, the movie doesn't do that. They go into the kitchen and the girls are on their lunch break, fully clothed, just eating lunch. Like, what are you doing in here? Like, this is where we work. And they are portrayed as like workers on a break. And like the movie so easily could have done a bit of like titillation there and chooses not to.
It completely normalizes them, which I really, really value.
I like it too.
Maria is not sort of drawn as a sort of like huge character, but she has a kind of nobility about her. She's the one who like takes the impetus to make a couple of the really big decisions in the film. I think if I have to like really work at it for this, then there are times when it really wants to attribute a kind of disgust for various kinds of people preying on the poor. It likes to make them women. Like there's a real kind of cinematic distaste for the rich women running the kind of church mission or the fortune teller. And the fortune teller is a bit more ambiguous, but there's a real kind of, there's a little bit of venom to the kind of last shots of her where she's like refusing to handle money herself, right? Like
there are also rich dudes in the church.
Yeah, this is very true. I think that's me reaching, right? I think that I don't think that you can make any criticism of a woman without it being in some level tinged with misogyny, because misogyny is like our whole society's based in it, right? Like I think that it's not doing that from a misogynistic place specifically. I don't think it has that intention. So I'm down to like 1, basically.
Yeah, I think there's potentially like you could have said more about class and gender, although I suppose it does show us what was true at the time, which is that, you know, Maria is dependent on Antonio getting a job. Like nobody's going to hire her. Like, we're still in the 40s, for fuck's sake. Like, she can't even get a bank account on her own. Yeah. So it depicts it, which is true. It doesn't really offer a critique of that.
Maybe very implicitly.
Yeah.
Like
it depicts it as true, and I guess we are to take from this that the state of things are wrong.
Yes, very true.
Yeah.
Her struggling with the sort of buckets of water and him sort of like forgetting to help her and then catching himself, I think is a good example. Or like the fact that while he and the other men are waiting to be given jobs, the other women are like working.
That's very true. It does show
They're
us
doing
that.
housework. Yeah, they're doing domestic labor.
They're not just sitting around. Yeah. Well, in that case, 1 or 2?
One. It's like what it's showing is what was occurring at the time. So it's not misogynistic to depict it.
Which is the idea with neorealism. So I think we might have found the cinematic style that hacks the scum system, for one thing.
Yeah, it turns out if you're just like a Marxist and you're depicting things because they exist as they are, then we can't really complain about it because we agree.
I'm pretty certain we've given Marxist films bad reviews before, and I'm sure we will do in future. But like,
certainly,
the specifically the neorealism again is like, this is the best film we've ever done. Which
it is. This is a total score of 3, which is the best film we've ever done. It has dethroned Top Carpy and the Quilla Memorandum down into silver medal status. It's now unopposed single occupant of the gold medal podium. The Bicycle Thieves, best film we've ever seen.
That is incredible and well deserved. Genuinely, what a time to end on. End the year on. What
a banger!
A multi-year research project, the results of which is to tell you that The Bicycle Thieves, one of the best films of all time, is a slightly better film than The Bourne Identity.
It is.
Objectively, it is.
We can also say that movies exist on a spectrum from The Bicycle Thieves to Rambo 4.
That's true.
So far, every movie we've seen is somewhere between those two.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fuck, what did Rambo 4 score go?
Rambo 4 was a 36, which is
it was 36.
You can, the maximum is 40, like even if you're like full punitive. So it's hard to imagine either one of these being
theoretically there could be a worse movie
and
than
theoretically
Rambo 4,
there could be a better movie too. So we will continue our hunt. Maybe we can do a really interesting double feature of Rambo 4 and The Bicycle Thieves.
It runs the gamut of all filmmaking in human history.
What they teach you in Harvard Business School, what they don't teach you in Harvard Business School.
What they teach you on the podcast, Kill James Bond.
Yeah. Also, this movie was made in 1948. Like every movie we've seen on the podcast has been made since then and has been worse. We should have stopped then.
Could have just stopped then.
Well, yeah. Yeah, actually, a little bit. Like, I do think we kind of cracked cinema in the 40s.
Modern filmmaking is a quest to make a worse film than The Bicycle Thieves. All right, well we have solved it.
That's the end for the mainline episodes this season. For the rest of the year, it's all party time, baby.
Oh, fantastic.
Next week on the bonus feed. No, shit. Next week on the free feed. It's all free for the rest of the month. It's December. Christ.
Yeah.
Next
Merry
week
Christmas.
on the free feed, it's Die Hard 4 for our Christmas special. And then the week afterwards, we are doing Diamonds Are Forever with no notes. So Godspeed to everyone involved.
Christ. Okay.
Can I do a little plug?
Yeah, hell yeah, why not?
Listeners, on the 20th of December, I'm going to be doing a charity live stream. I'm reading the entirety of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol live on stream on YouTube to raise money for World Central Kitchen. They're a charity that feeds people who've suffered natural disasters like the hurricanes in Puerto Rico earlier this year and the LA wildfires, and also man-made disasters. They've been active in Gaza and Ukraine. So if you want to hear me read some Charles Dickens to you in a Christmassy mood, 20th of December, we're raising money for a good cause. I'll post about it on all my socials and stuff, but do come along if you would like to listen.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for listening. Do that, subscribe to the Patreon, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to yet another episode of Kill James Bond. Next week on the free feed, because it is the holiday season and we're giving these stuff away. It's the spirit of the season. It's giving, things of this nature. It is our Christmas special, which is obviously Die Hard 4, a Christmas movie. And in 2 weeks' time, also on the free feed, is Diamonds Are Forever with no notes. I don't really know what happens in Diamonds Are Forever. That's the one where the guy is like, Baja, I don't have any holdings in Baja. And that's one of the main things I remember. So I'm pretty sure I can take that germ and just sort of like expand that out and remember the entire movie. I fucking know Abby will be able to. I'm not too worried. Anyway, sorry, listen to me waffling on. Special thanks, as always, to our £15 and above patrons, and those are Lo Bjornsdottir, Freya Aloysius, Candy Fox, No Name, Gustavo Lira, Helspeth Haunt, Jordan Gammy, Nick Boris, Frankenstein, Hannah Oberhardt, Trump allegedly dicked down, George Rohack, Canada will remember Devon's promise, Yarrick, please re-release the KJB Vault t-shirt. The thing is, we haven't put that t-shirt out yet. We've got it on, it's in like a break glass in case of emergency. We need to afford something for the podcast. Like, people will buy this. It's like, you'll know we want something when we put that shirt out. Melody Moro Gonzalez, Live Free or Cry, Labor Delenda Est, All I Want for Christmas is a Cow Bikini Bond. Again, break glass in case of emergency. It's there. We have an artist on board who is willing to draw the Cow Bikini Bond. Worm Like a Devil, Kill James Bond highlights, Library Hitman, Saiga. We'll probably do it. Max Gamainhart, Giganta 0234, The Project, Joseph Soche, Trip, Jack Drummond, Arashi of Ordo 3, Vinifera, Chelsea Rose, Cosmic Parking Lot, The Grungler, Desert X12, it's the damn Grungler, Pup-Napped Puppy Princess Reese with a Louis Vuitton collar, Rhododendron, K Maybe Okay, Athena V, Danielle has finally figured out how to change her display name, wonderful. Molly Powerslide, Ashley, full name time, Penile Sparing Vaginoplasty, Committing to the Bit is too much work, Arizona Frog Strangler, Annie Ruby, some sort of silly Canadian creature, Anne Hedonia. I still love, this is one of my favorite ones, by the way, Anne. I think about this one every time I go past it. I never comment on it, but it's really good. Staz has actual Anhedonia. Cool. That's pretty cool too. Silly Vixen, Lady Houndstooth, Science Daddy, Robert Nero in the heat and I'm not apologizing. Claire, Tim Welsh, Kakoden, Kill James Bond is November, Abigail and Devon, Chris Roth, Maeve Victoria Roth turned in her badge and laptop, Gender Swap Podcast, my best friend, my personal best friend Devon's, Parasocial Butterfly. Crush Hazard, Ray, Anya Top, Joyous Uwu, Vita Brava, Liz Rossi, Gay Rat, Claire Baker, Saturdays Claire, Shannon, you slightly impressed me. Finn Ross, Cayenne Belladonna, Devon needs to stop being so sexy, Krista Swisher, Meat Popsicle, Daniel, Britain, Commander Freddy, April, Disposable Lesbian. Oh. I think April. Slut Kevin, Envious MB, Mortran, Elite Erin, Anya Shenanigans, Clairvoyance, Robotrick, Clarification, Lady Ariane, Delta Echo, Victor, Alex, Isopod Gal, Casquatch, Obsidian Polymer, Seng Shen, Liz and Ash of the University of Florida, Walscott, Noblesse Oblahite, John 2089, Witch Hazel, Josh Simmons, Mega B, Loz Pycock, Mistress Angela Alis, The Duck Whisperer, Zoe Shepherd, Philippa is still catching up with KJB, Cassandra, Wolfie is normal, Misidentified Lemon, Talkative Tiger, Carriat, Al Irwing, Emily Queen of Sloths, Robert Greensmith, Turfs Eat Shit and Die Alone, Abigail, Magpie, Charlotte with a D, Small Twink Energy, Lauren Baston, Meryl is not a vampire, but she may be in love? Nice. That's pretty good. Being in love fucking rocks, dog. Valeria Saturnalia, Festive Lesbian Bug Witch, Armored Contempt, and Tiny Lily. Thank you all for being subscribers of the show. Kill James Bond is, of course, November, Abigail and Devon. Our producer is the wonderful Mr. Nate Thay. Our art is by John DeLuca, and our website is by Tom Allen. And we will see you next time.